What is up, everyone? This is Kyle from the TF Review, and today we're finally taking a look at Warbotron Fierce Attack, the final figure in the Not Bruticus Combiner that is created by Warbotron. As you can see, the packaging, much like all the other Warbotron figures, has a really nice silver slipcase on it, and it is twice the size of your standard, maybe a little less than twice the size of your standard Warbotron figure. Now that we've removed the slipcover off the figure, we can see has his name Fierce Attack, ages 15 up. I like how it says WB01-E set versus just figure, and you do have a nice picture of Fierce Attack in his robot mode right there in the corner. Also, unlike all the other figures, we do get a nice display of Fierce Attack in his vehicle mode, where everyone else was actually in their robot modes. And lastly, on the back, there's not much detail. You sort of have a blueprinty design of him in his robot mode and him in his vehicle mode and the regular general company information there in the bottom right corner. That basically does it for the box and the packaging. Let's go ahead and let's open this figure up. So when you've finally taken them all out of the packaging, he doesn't have the insert tray that all the other figures had, but he does come in this nice clamshell packaging, and you can see everything that he comes with is laid out, nice and laid out. You got his hands, you got a giant blaster, you have some more giant blasters, a chest plate or a shield, whichever you want to use, and his feet. And then, of course, the main figure sitting right in the middle. So here we have Fierce Attack in his vehicle mode, and you can see he's literally quite long. And you can display him a number of different ways if you want. You don't need to put these up there. You can just kind of put these to the side. It just recommends you store it like that. And that's fine. It looks fine. If you want, you can put one of his feet on his trailer. Fortunately, it only holds one. What I like to do, I like to put Heavy Noisy back here because it fits real nice and it stays on quite sturdy. But apart from that, that's basically the only use for the trailer in vehicle mode. If you wanted to, you can take this off. Just be careful and mindful of these pegs, because once you've pegged them in, they are very, very difficult to unpeg. So you do need to be careful. And in terms of Fierce Attack, that's basically the only use that he has in his robot mode for this standalone figure. Everything else is, of course, important to his combined mode. So we can go ahead and we can put this to the side for now. His feet can actually also become little drones, which is kind of silly. But for play value, it does add a lot, you know, whatever. So again, we can take the feet and put them to the side for now. Again, we have no real importance for them until we get to the big Bruticus Combined mode in the next video. Same with the hands. Again, the hands are actually pretty large, but again, we don't need them for now. And also with the gun, we can put this to the side, and also with the chest plate, we can go ahead and put this to the side as well. But this we can actually use later. So this, we're going to put to the side, but now we're going to focus on Onslaught, or Fierce Attack, whatever you want to call him. And we can see he's very, very, really nicely detailed. The silver paint is almost a gunmetal gray color that shines really, really nice. And he's got a lot of hard detail. The back side of him is a bit kind of a mess. It just looks like robot junk, but at the same time it doesn't look like it's a robot. They didn't really do much, and of course his head is just sitting right there, kind of lazily. But from the front of the truck, this thing looks so mean and menacing, so Mad Max-ish. Oh god, I just saw Fury Road, so I'm all Mad Maxed out right now. But this truck really does remind me of it. It's something you would see in that movie, just because of how big and mean it is. And it's also got a lot of really nice detail. But apart from that, that's basically all it does. It rolls, and that's it. So yeah, luckily for us, the transformation is surprisingly easy. I think it's one of the easiest ones in the whole Warbotron lot. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at his transformation. Now to transform Onslaught, basically, or Fierce Attack, whatever you want to call them, we can start by taking these, folding them down. It just makes things a little bit easier to start with. And we can also take his little side view mirrors, and then fold them up to the side. Next, if you want, we can take this whole back piece and just pull it out. And that forms his legs, and we can unpeg him like that. And it's pretty much his legs are mostly done. Then what we want to do is take this little panel. It lifts right up. That folds down, and his heel back here will also fold down, and we can go ahead and close that back up, and now his feet are done. You can do the same on this side. Fold that down, fold his heel down, and now we are done with his legs. This panel right here does bug me. It does feel a bit lazy, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now we just need to worry about his upper half of his body, and there's a number of different ways you can do this. For starters, we can take these side panels and just lift them up. And these also fold up pretty easy. They're a little bit fragile, but and they just fold up. Next, we can take his what would be his gas tanks or his air pressure tanks, and these just unpeg, and it sort of unpegs the whole front end. So what we can do is, now that the front end is unpegged, we can just take it and move that to the side, and this sort of unlocks a whole bunch of different stuff. Then what we want to do is we want to take his window piece, and this just actually folds up and around, but it's a really tight fit, so you need to be pretty careful. And then everything, you'll notice it kind of just, everything just shuts. Everything just shuts like that. And that locks down. And there we go. Then what we can do is rotate it. And rotate it. And we have that so far. We are almost there, my friends. Next, we can take his arms and just turn them to the side. Then we want to open up these, and his hands do just fold out nice and easy. Again, really tight plastic. That's not the good kind of tight either. That's kind of a scary kind of tight. And then just fold his hands out, close it. Then if we want, we can take this little green piece, and that just folds to the back. It kind of gets out of the way a little bit. Take this little green piece by his wheel, and that folds back. Now his wheels are on ball joints, which is kind of cool. So if you ever needed to move his arm out, his wheel just moves with it. Otherwise, it does hinder his arm articulation quite a bit. Lastly, we just want to fold his head out, and his head just lifts up like that. And there we have Onslaught. Now if you want the finishing touches, you can take this piece, and this does just attach right here. There are 2 pegs on each side that are off-centered. You just want to take it, and it does peg in very, very loosely, meaning it can fall off pretty easy. But there you go. Now you have Onslaught. And his robot mode looks absolutely wonderful. This is Onslaught. This is G1 Onslaught made, but like to the perfectionist. And I think this is why this has become one of my favorite third-party figures. At the same time, it's got a lot of problems and a lot of flaws that just feel lazy. One of the biggest offenders is right here, this panel. It just folds down and doesn't do anything else. Same with the arm articulation, and then of course the exposed screw holes. But the screw holes I can kind of forgive, since there weren't really a lot of ways around it for the main Warbotron articulation. But you do need to move the wheels out of the way. And the head also doesn't lock in place, so that is another issue. Something, I don't know if this is an issue with just my figure alone, but you'll notice there are 2 holes right there, and there are 2, what looks like there should have been pegs right there that would have matched up perfectly with those holes, and it would have pegged right in place, but for some reason mine doesn't have that. And I don't know why, and it doesn't peg into place. So that is an issue. Luckily, for posing and for display, that's not a huge issue, but it would have been nice for just overall stability. And yeah. Now for articulation, he does have a lot. His arms can move in and out. They are double jointed, but they are hindered by this piece right here. They do have an upper bicep swivel, but it's not the good kind. That's scary. That is a very scary tight joint and could snap easily. His hands can also rotate, and his fingers do open for holding weapons and whatnot. He does have a really nice, smooth waist swivel. His legs move in and out. They got an upper thigh swivel. They bend, and they're on a nice ratchet, which is awesome. And his feet do have ankle tilts on both the heel and the ball of his foot. Again, really nice. You can get some nice A stances out of it. And yeah, that does it for the figure. Again, you can see the issue with this piece popping up. It continues to persist. If you want, you can unpeg his two blasters. Now, these are a little bit weird in my opinion, because for some reason I want to think that these can compress down, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. Also, another issue I'm having is, you'll notice there is no screw right there. They did not put a screw, which is obviously a huge QC issue. So know that when you get this figure, you're getting the possibility of a ton of QC issues. But if you get lucky and you get a nice one, this figure is actually really good despite its flaws. For a quick size comparison, here he is next to Superion. As you can see, he is actually really a nice, large-sized figure. And of course, when we finally get around to Bruticus, Bruticus towers over Superion, like a lot. So that's going to be a real fun video. Anyway, that does it for this video review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you are also looking forward to the full Bruticus video, because it is going to be awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.